Okay, before we even mess around with our Instagram post, let's go over all the tools that you have in Canva. So we're going to start with this top menu bar in blue, then we'll move down to the white bar, and then we'll move down to the left sidebar. So up here you have the home button. That will take you back to this page over here, which is just your Canva homepage or your dashboard. Then you have the file button, and in here you can adjust different settings about the page. Say you want to change the name, you can change it there, create new design. If you want to show rulers to help you get everything aligned, you can do that. I prefer not to have rulers. You can also have guides, margins, print bleed, if you plan on printing this out versus just posting it online, and all sorts of other options that allow you to mess with the overall settings of your document. Next, we have the resize button, and this allows you to take one design and resize it for multiple formats. So say you want to print this Instagram graphic as a poster as well, then you just click the resize button. This is a pro feature, so I don't use Canva Pro personally because I don't think I need it. But if you feel like this feature is super necessary, then it will give you the option to upgrade to Canva Pro. An alternative to this is to just create another document and copy paste your elements into it. Then we have your undo and redo buttons. So like I said, Control Z, Control Shift Z. Then you have this little section right here that lets you know that your document has been saved properly. If you get disconnected from the internet while you're working on your template, it will let you know, so that you know not to exit Canva until it uploads everything. Canva does autosave the way that Google Docs or Google Sheets does, so you don't need to worry about hitting Control S every so often. You just need to make sure that it actually saved. Then next you have the file name. As you saw me type, it's SKILLSHARE Instagram graphic post. You can click here or over here in the file tab or the file button to change the name of your document. Then you have the Try Canva Pro button. Like I said, I don't use Canva Pro because I feel like the free features are enough for me right now. Then you have the Share button, which allows you to share this document with other people who use Canva. Then you have the Download button, and this is where you will export your image to then take it into a place like Instagram. They suggest that you use PNG. I tend to use JPG when I am posting to Instagram, but that's up to you. You can also export as a PDF or a video or a GIF if there are animations on your post. The next thing you have is this More icon, and in here you just have more options of where you would like to share your document or how you would like to download it, as well as some different options for companies and websites that integrate really well into Canva. Now on to this white taskbar right here. As you can see, there's only one option right here. It says Animate, and so if you click this, you have different animation so that you can add to your text. If you're going to use this option, then you want to make sure that you download your document as a GIF or as an MP4, because if you download it as a static image, it will only be static. But if you want the animations to work, you need to make sure you use an animated file format. I'm going to go back to none. If I click on any one of these elements, you'll see that more options appear on the taskbar. The taskbar will adjust its options depending on what you're clicked on. So right now I'm clicked on a shape, and so my options are to change the color. If you have Canva Pro, in addition to all these different color options, you're also going to have a section for brand colors. And in there, you can set your settings for your account to have certain colors that match your brand. For example, for my brand, two of the colors that I use are red and pink. And the specific red that I use is D63230. Instead of having to type that in every single time, I can just set my brand colors one time and I get to click them really easily when I need to use them. This is what I was referring to when I said that the red that I use is D63230. That's hexadecimal. It's just a way of naming colors that is more objective than saying, oh, it's a dark red or a light red or a vibrant red. D63230 means a very specific red, and you can type it in on most programs. So I'm going to type that in, D63230, and as you can see, this red pops up. Now quickly going through the different color sections that are here, you have the new color where you can put hexadecimal in. You have the document colors. So these are the colors that you have already used in this document, whether on this page or another page. Then you have the photo colors. These are the colors that appear in this background image that the program has automatically picked out. Then you have the default colors, which are just the default colors that come with Canva. If you move on to the right, you have the ungroup button. This button allows you to move objects either separately or together. So right now, these two squares are connected to one another, so anytime I drag one, the other one will move. But if I want to move them independently of one another, then I click ungroup, click off real quick, and then I can click the square that I would like, and as you can see, only one of them moved. I am going to go ahead and group those again. So you just highlight the objects that you would like to group together, and then you click group. Next, you have the position button, and this allows you to layer your objects in different ways. Say I wanted the yellow square in front of the text. I'm gonna go position, and I can either move it forward, so that moves it up in layers, or I can align it to the top of the page. I can align it to the left, the middle, bottom, right, center, right? So I want it in exactly the center, so I clicked the center button. Now I'm going to click the middle button, and it puts it right back in the center. Next, you have the copy style button. I don't use this button at all, so I can't say whether or not it is super helpful or not helpful. Anytime I want to copy an element or a set of elements, I will either Control-C, Control-V. So Control-C is copy, and then Control-V is paste. You can also right-click it, copy, right-click, paste, and you just need to make sure that your browser allows for that. As you can see, it copied the elements that I had highlighted. Another way to do that is to click Alt on your keyboard, and as you click Alt, you want to drag the elements away, and it will create a copy. So that is how I maintain similar styles or exact styles throughout my projects, and we'll talk more about different ways that you can do that moving forward. After that, you have the opacity or transparency tool, and this allows you to change how transparent or not transparent your objects are. I'm going to work with this yellow square. If I drop the transparency down, as you can see, it slowly disappears. At 0, it's not there at all. Then you have a slightly see-through square, and at 100 it is opaque. Then you have the link tool, and this allows you to add a link to specific elements. Next, you have the lock tool. This means that you can't move that specific object around at all. It's locked in place. This is great if you have things exactly where you want them to be and you're scared you're going to mess it up. You just lock it in place, and you can mess with all the other elements that are on your post. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that, and you'll see a duplicate tool. Duplicate does the same thing that I talked about before, which is copy and paste the elements that you have highlighted. Then you have the trash tool. It makes the element go away. Finally, we're going to move on to the toolbar on the left. First, you have the templates tab, which we already talked about, and you have all these different templates that you can use. You can use the search bar to filter down the templates. So say I want only birthday posts, then it'll show me different birthday templates. There's also a filter here. You can filter by color or by language, and it will show you all the different templates that are in that color or in that language. Next, you have the uploads tab, and here is where you upload any media that you want to use personally. So you can upload your own images, videos, and audio. Next, you have the photos tab, which is the stock photos and stock backgrounds that Canva comes with. Here you can see my recently used one, so if I ever work on a project, come back and say I'm in a different document, it'll still show me the backgrounds that I used in my previous project. That way I can keep things similar or the same if that's what I'm going for. You can filter in here as well by different keywords or holidays. Next, you have the elements tab, and these elements are different shapes or lines that you can add to your project. And as you'll see here, some of these have little crowns on them. That means they are pro icons or pro shapes. So if you want to use them, you need to get a pro account, but there are plenty of free ones that you can use. So some that you'll see here are little icons or lines. You'll see shapes as well, and frames. Frames are really useful if you want your image to be inside of a shape. So say I want my image to be in a circle, then I just drag out or click on the circle frame. And I'm just going to go into photos here and just pick one. You drag it in and your cursor is going to have a little dotted rectangle around it, and you just drag it in and then your image stays within that circle. After that, you have different animated stickers and charts. Grids are another way of organizing photos into a specific layout. So these are really quick ways that you can add more interesting features into your project, especially if you're starting from scratch. Next, we have the text toolbar. In the text toolbar, you'll see different font combination options that you can use if you're interested. If you're not interested, all you need to do is click T while you're in your document, and a text box will appear. You type whatever you would like, and in here you'll see that this upper toolbar has now changed. So you can change your fonts over here, font size, font color. Certain fonts allow you to bold and italicize them, some don't. Then you have your alignment, so whether it is shifted left, center, or right. If it's left aligned, it will lean to the left. Then you have center aligned and right aligned. Then you have justified. Then you have a bullet point option, as well as a way to change the line height. So that's the distance between each line. And you have an option to change the letter spacing, which is the spacing between each letter. You can also change the anchor of the text box. Then you have the effects button, and in here you can add effects that you might see in word art on Microsoft Word. So you can add a shadow or different lighting options to your font. Then you have this more option. You have the underline option and a way to change all the text in a text box to all capitalized or all uncapitalized. Just like with the object options, you have copy style, link, and lock, as well as changing position and opacity. Another thing you should know is that you don't have to click this trash can icon to get rid of an element. You can just click the delete button on your keyboard. Moving on, you have the music panel, and in here you can add music to your graphics. And this is the music that comes with Canva. As you can see, most of it is pro. And again, if you're going to use something like the music panel, then you're going to want to make sure that when you export as an MP4, so as a video file and not as a photo or as a GIF. Then you have the videos panel. In here you'll see different options for videos that you can add as backgrounds or as foregrounds, whatever you want, to your project. After that, you have the backgrounds panel, and in here you just have different patterns and colors that you can use to add to your project. Lastly, you have the folders panel, and in here you can organize your different elements if you have Canva Pro. You'll also in here see different icons or different videos or audio that you have purchased. Those are all the tools that are available to you on Canva. As you can see, there are quite a lot, but don't get overwhelmed. You don't need to use all of them all the time, and you'll start to find that there are certain ones that you really like to use and others that you don't really see a point for, and that is okay.